Four identical tables in the shape of a trapezoid and a square table have been arranged in such a way as to form a large square table. Let's draw that. Once joined together, the five tables have an area that is 5 times greater than the area of the small table in the center. Determine the measure that corresponds to h, this dimension here. Let's look at what the question tells us. So first off, we know there are 4 trapezoid tables. So I'll represent that with 4. We'll say T for trapezoid. So the area of 4 trapezoid tables plus the area of a small square in the center, we'll call that S, is equal to 5 times the area of the small table in the center. So 4t plus S is equal to 5S. We also know that S is equal to 324 decimeters squared. And it's asking us to figure out what h is. Let's see if we can simplify this algebraic expression. 4t plus s is equal to 5s. We can subtract an s from each side. 4t plus s minus s would just leave us with 4t. And 5s minus s would leave us with 4s. And if 4t is equal to 4s, then we can assume that t is equal to s, which is equal to 324 decimeters squared. And that tells us that T is the area of this trapezoid. So we can say that the area of the trapezoid from our formula is equal to the large base plus the small base times the height divided by 2. Taking what we already know, we can write this out a little differently. We could say 324 decimeters squared is equal to large B plus small b times h divided by 2. And in our diagram, small b corresponds to this side of the trapezoid, and large B corresponds to the larger base of the trapezoid. Small b is equal to the side of this small square, which has an area of 324 decimeters squared. The area of a square is one side times another side. In this case, it would be b times this side. This side is also the same size of b. So b times b is equal to 324 decimeters squared. This is where we can get out our calculator, and we can use that to help us figure out the solution. B times b is the same thing as b squared, and that's equal to 324 decimeters squared. In order to solve that, we can take the square root of each side. The square root of b squared is b, and the square root of 324 was equal to 18, and the square root of decimeters squared is just decimeters. So now we know that small b is 18 decimeters. So let's replace that in our formula here. 18 decimeters. Now we need to solve for large b. And this is where our word problem comes back in to help us. Once joined together, the 5 tables have an area that is 5 times greater than the area of the small table in the center. What that means is the area of this overall square is equal to 5 times this. So again, we can get our calculator. And we can calculate 324 decimeters times 5 is 1,620. So we know that large b times large b is equal to 1,620. That would be large b squared is equal to 1,620. And we can take the square root of 1,620. And that gives us 40.249. Well, let's call it 40.25. Now we can plug that in. .25 decimeters. So let's write that out down here where we have some more space. 40.25 decimeters plus 18 decimeters times height, all divided by 2, is equal to 324 decimeters squared. Now we can simplify 40.25 plus 18. We could simplify that to be 58.25 decimeters times h, we still don't know. And then the other thing we can do is we can multiply each side by 2 in order to get rid of this divided by 2. So if we do this whole side times 2 and this whole side times 2, we can eliminate these. And 324 decimeters squared times 2 gives us 648 decimeters squared. Now we can take 58.25 times h is equal to 648. That means we can divide each side by 58.25. So we'll divide each side by 58.25 decimeters. And again, I'll use my calculator for that. And that gives us 11.2. So h equals 11.2, and we have decimeters squared divided by decimeters. And that gives us decimeters. So we can say that in this illustration, the measure h is 11.2 decimeters.